Hey, what's up? This is Ben with WODprep. I'm here with Coach Gary from WODprep. He's the movement specialist. Today, we are going to reveal the 3 biggest myths about shoulder mobility. So when it comes to CrossFit, shoulder mobility is king. All the movements that we do, whether it's handstand push-ups or snatches or muscle-ups, they all involve shoulder mobility. So if you want to unlock your shoulder performance, make sure you stay tuned to this video. But really quick, if you would like to increase your shoulder performance before your next workout, we actually have a free gift that we want to send you. Coach Gary and I put together a warm-up that is specifically going to help you before your next shoulder workout. So if you have snatches or handstand push-ups or pretty much anything coming up in your next WOD, go to wodprep.com/shoulders and download this warm-up, and it's going to help unlock your shoulder performance. But let's get into it. So Gary, what is myth number 1?
Myth number 1 is static stretching works, okay? What we see in the gym a lot of the times is people coming in, grabbing a band, and just going into some static stretching, just hanging out, hanging on all these structures of the shoulder for a minute or 2 minutes, thinking it's gonna solve their problems for that day. In fact, the myth is that static stretching kind of shuts the shoulder off. We need to make this dynamic. So if you really want to increase that shoulder performance, we are going to teach you how to make your stretches dynamic. So Ben's going to go ahead, drive his head through, work some great shoulder flexion. He even gets into some hyperflexion. He's getting that shoulder behind him, but he only stays in that position for about 3 to 5 seconds. After that 3 to 5 seconds, he comes back out, he gets rid of tension, then he goes back in, keeping his core down, abs down, to make sure the shoulder is getting that shoulder flexion.
So one thing that's really important about this, and with all the movements in CrossFit, when I'm receiving weight overhead or when I'm doing a clean, I'm not just staying in that position. I need to teach my body how to get into that position with some movement. There's lots of movement in this sport. So that's why it's so important to do dynamic stretching, to stretch dynamically in your warm-ups, to teach your brain how to move properly. So when it comes to doing these dynamic stretches, there are a couple important things to consider. Whether you're doing it before the workout or after the workout, Gary has a couple other important coaching points.
If you're doing a banded work, let's go ahead and make sure it stays dynamic. And if you're doing it before your workout, make sure it's only about 30 seconds. We don't want to really confuse the brain too much and create too much drastic changes in the shoulder. So do it 30 to 40 seconds. And if you're doing it post-workout, let's go ahead and hit it for a minute, 2 minutes. You can hang in there a little bit longer when you drive through, 10 seconds. But again, keeping that moving. So pre-workout, 30 seconds, post-workout, minute, 2 minutes, have at it.
So 30 seconds is all you need to create some lasting change before the workout.
And teach that brain it's okay to go up overhead or into extension, whatever you're working on for that mobility drill.
Cool, stay dynamic. Myth number 2 is that warm-ups are the solution to your problem. A lot of times, and I know Gary will agree with me, we see athletes that come in and they think that 10 minutes before a workout is the only time they need to be practicing their shoulder mobility. So Gary has a couple really important things to mention about that. So what's better than practicing 10 minutes before your workout?
Having a daily movement practice. If you really want to get healthy, good moving shoulders, you need to create your own movement practice, and that can look like something short and simple in the morning right when you wake up. 2 sets of 6 of a certain few different movements that maybe you develop with your coach or a yogi, somebody who really knows the body, and then just making that a daily habit to your life. So all the greatest movement practitioners, a lot of them have a daily movement practice that they'll go through, and we know Ben WODprep has his daily movement morning practice. So make sure you establish something that works for you, works for your weaknesses, and creating a habit of it, doing it every day, and not doing it 1 week when you have snatches, and then again, not doing it again until the next week when you have snatches again. So daily habit, that's the key.
So make a habit of your mobility. If you make it a habit, you'll see lasting change. That is myth number 2. Myth number 3 is that mobility is your problem. So mobility is not always the solution. So many athletes think that they struggle with mobility when in fact it's
stability.
So when it comes to stability, we have a few coaching points and a few things to mention. When we're doing a snatch, when we're doing anything, we're moving into a position. That weight is unstable. So what we need to do is improve our stability. So how can we improve our stability, Gary?
One of our favorite ones to throw into a warm-up to increase your reactive stability is a simple overhead waiter's carry with a kettlebell. So Ben will just take that kettlebell up, he'll find a 30-meter track, keep that core tight, and he's gonna walk it. And he'll create some zigzags, do 30 meters down, 30 meters back, and that zigzagging and that constant moving creates a reactive force on that kettlebell, right? The kettlebell is going to move because you're moving, so your shoulder has to learn how to stabilize it in a good, healthy position. To keep your athletes safe, keep yourself safe, that shoulder scap needs to have great reactive stability, and it's not always mobility.
Yeah, so when we're moving around, again, I like to use the example, if I'm snatching a weight overhead, that barbell is moving, so we need to be able to stabilize in that motion. So stability is hugely important, and if you want to get better at all these things that we mentioned, if you want to increase your shoulder performance before your next workout, make sure, again, you go to WODprep.com/shoulders and you can download our shoulder mobility guide that will help increase your performance. And last but not least, click the subscribe button below. Coach Gary is going to be bringing us lots more mobility videos in the future. Thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you think Gary looks weird. And last but not least, let's say, what is your favorite band? That's a really good one. So Gary, what's your favorite band?
Metallica.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. What's yours?